A fire hose of vicious lies intended to confuse and drown out the truth. All that and more now on Graff's Grievances. Two rising female stars in the Republican Party intentionally employing lies and mistruths as they seek to climb the overwhelmingly male and entirely white hierarchy in GOP politics. This weekend, South Carolina Republican Congresswoman Nancy Mace exploding on the unflappable ABC News host George Stephanopoulos after he asked her how she could support Donald Trump for president after Trump was found liable for sexual assault. Mace has bravely spoken about her own history of being raped as a teenager and has said that women often won't come forward for fear of being dismissed.
And I'm not going to sit here on your show and be asked a question meant to shame me about another potential rape victim. I'm not gonna do that.
It's actually not about shaming you. It's a question about Donald Trump.
No, you are shaming me.
You've endorsed Donald Trump for president.
Right.
Donald Trump has been found liable for rape by a jury. Donald Trump has been found liable for defaming the victim of that rape by a jury. It's been affirmed by a judge.
It was not a criminal court case, number one. Number two, I live with shame. And you're asking me a question about my political choices, trying to shame me as a rape victim, and I find it disgusting. And quite frankly, E. Jean Carroll's comments when she did get the judgment, joking about what she was going to buy, it makes it harder for women to come forward when they make a mockery out of rape, when they joke about it.
Doesn't it make it harder for women to come forward when they are defamed by
It makes it harder when other women
candidates?
joke about it, and she's joked about it. I find it offensive. And I also find it offensive that you're trying to shame me with this question.
I'm not trying to shame you
at
all. In fact,
I have dealt with this for 30 years. You know how hard it was to tell my story 5 years ago when they were doing a fetal heartbeat bill and there were no exceptions for rape, incest, or rape or incest in there? I had to tell my story because no other woman was coming forward. No rape victims were represented. And you're trying to shame me this morning.
I'm just asking.
And I find it offensive, and this is why women won't come forward.
Women won't come forward because they're defamed by those who perpetrate rape. Donald Trump
they are judged and they're shamed, and you're trying to shame me this morning. I think it's disgusting.
I'm not shaming you at all.
I told my story.
As is quite apparent, Stephanopoulos was, of course, not shaming Mace, as she repeatedly falsely said, but was trying to understand how Mace could support a man found liable of sexual assault by a jury not once, but twice. If Mace did not want to talk about her enduring support for Trump, she did not have to agree to an interview. But this kind of lie-filled, nasty confrontation is all part of the GOP playbook in the MAGA era. Despite Mace falsely claiming she was being shamed, in fact, Mace was doing the shaming. The Congresswoman directly attacking Trump's rape victim, writer E. Jean Carroll, and criticizing Carroll for how she celebrated her $92 million defamation victory against Trump. Immediately after the Sunday interview, Mace running to social media to capitalize on her appearance and line her campaign coffers by attacking Stephanopoulos and the media. Why is this telegenic 46-year-old first female graduate at the Citadel doing all of this? Because no doubt watching is Donald Trump. The presumptive Republican presidential nominee now scouting for a new running mate ahead of his party's convention in July. And unfortunately for Mace, the competition for Trump's VP slot is steep. In addition to the South Carolina Congresswoman, last week saw another desperate female Republican politician outright lie about sex trafficking to attack President Biden and boost her profile. Are you sensing a theme here? During the Republican response to President Biden's State of the Union address Thursday, Alabama Senator Katie Britt shared a gruesome story of a woman who was sexually trafficked to criticize Biden's immigration policies.
I spoke to a woman who shared her story with me. She had been sex trafficked by the cartels starting at the age of 12. She told me not just that she was raped every day, but how many times a day she was raped. This is the United States of America, and it is past time, in my opinion, that we start acting like it. President Biden's border policies are a disgrace.
The problem with that harrowing account is that the woman Britt was talking about, Carla Jacinto Romero, says she was trafficked 2 decades before Biden even became president, during the George W. Bush administration. Romero also testifying she was not trafficked across the U.S.-Mexico border, but forced to work in Mexican brothels from 2004 to 2008 when she was between the ages of 12 and 16 years old. So how could Senator Britt, who posted video on her YouTube channel of meeting with Romero, gotten Romero's story so wrong?
I hardly ever cooperate with politicians because it seems to me that they only want an image, they only want a photo, and that to me is not fair. I work as a spokesperson for many victims who have no voice, and I really would like them to be empathetic. All the governors, all the senators, to be empathetic with the issue of human trafficking, because there are millions of girls and boys who disappear all the time. People who are really trafficked and abused, as Senator Britt mentioned. And I think Senator Britt should first take into account what really happens before telling a story of that magnitude.
That was Romero talking to CNN just yesterday and explaining why Britt got her story entirely wrong. Because, as Romero said, politicians, quote, only want an image. They only want a photo. And that understandable cynicism about American politicians and politics is exactly what MAGA Republicans want. They want you to believe democracy has been one gigantic failure. And maybe we try experimenting with a new form of government, whereby an orange man gets to control all aspects of your life and can remain in power for as long as he wants. No more need for messy elections and dishonest politicians. We can replace all of that chaotic liberty with a permanent dear leader. It is this dystopian future Trump and his MAGA acolytes envision for the United States and will do seemingly everything in their power, including lie about rape and sex trafficking, to implement. Don't be deceived. Don't lose hope. Check the facts and call out the lies. Thank you for watching Graph's Grievances. Let me know what you think. Please like, subscribe, share. It really helps me grow this channel. And join me tomorrow for more.